Now we should be good. Asmadgurubhyo namaha, Asmadparamagurubhyo namaha, Asmadsarvagurubhyo namaha, Shri Krishna Parabrahmane namaha, Shri Lakshmi Nrisimha Parabrahmane namaha, Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane namaha, Sarvam Shri Krishnarpnamastu. Thanks for understanding that I cannot keep up timing very well. We'll start screen sharing, and we will pick up from where we left off. I think it is live on YouTube, just checking. I'm okay, I think. Can you hear me well? You can hear me well, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, let me screen share one item I want to talk to you about. So, just to give you the context, we were discussing second chapter shloka in the Bhagavad Gītā. We were discussing Bhāṣya on it. So Madhvācārya has given quite a detailed commentary on that verse, which we talked about earlier. Now, coming back to a couple of things Madhvācārya raises, some issues he raises. He raises a very important verse from Mandukya Kārikā. Mandukya Upanishad in general is held, it's held as very important by Advaitins. And this verse is pretty often quoted by Advaitins. Prapañco yadi vidyeta nivarteta na samshayaha. Maybe let me see if I can do this slideshow. Yeah, can you see this better?
Yes.
Okay. Prapañco yadi vidyeta nivarteta na samshayaha. Māyā matramidam dvaitam advaitam paramarthataha. This is 1.17 verse of Mandukya Kārikā. Madhvācārya accepts Mandukya Kārikā as part of the Upanishad itself. Some people believe Mandukya Kārikā was authored by Gaudapada, who wrote a Kārikā or some kind of a notes or an extended information about Mandukya Upanishad. So the Mandukya Upanishad itself is very small, but the Kārikas are in a way explanations by Gaudapada. In a way, they are accepted to be the part of Upanishad itself by Madhvācārya. Strangely, Mandukya Kārikā is accepted by the Advaitins as something which Gaudapada wrote, and it is not the part of the Upanishad itself. This is strange, but this is true. So this verse says, Prapañco yadi vidyeta nivarteta na samshayaha. Prapañca means what? Universe. According to Prapañca is what we see as this universe. If this manifold Prakriti or universe were real, then certainly it would disappear. However, Māyā matramidam dvaitam, this duality, Dvaitam, is just Māyā matram. It's just an illusory appearance. Advaitam paramarthataha. In truth, there is only one thing, that is one supreme reality, without a second, and all the other appearances are unreal. Seems like a very powerful support for Advaita view. Do you agree? Everybody agrees? So let me repeat the meaning, the Advaita view of this, right? Prapañco yadi vidyeta, nivarteta na samshayaha. If there were this manifold universe, it would have disappeared. Māyā matramidam dvaitam advaitam paramarthataha. This universe is just an appearance. It is the Dvaita or the multiplicity or manifoldness, a duality, is just an appearance. Advaitam paramarthataha. In truth, everything is one reality. That's the truth. That's what the original seems to say according to Śaṅkarācārya. Śaṅkarācārya says this. And let me explain this further a little bit. I'm not going to go into Śaṅkara Bhāṣya as, it's not that difficult, but I can, let me stop share and see if I can, this I will show only in just a second, if I can show. I'm sharing. Can you see?
Yes.
I'm sharing a Kannada file, okay? Because I find this is easy to understand, even though many people cannot read Kannada. I'm just going to follow this because I want to follow the train of thought of Śaṅkarācārya as he wrote his commentary. So I want to be very sincere to the way he expresses the commentary in his own words. That's why I have this reference. In this book, it is very well mentioned, but in the English books, you don't have this immediate, if you can find it, but it's so hard for me to find. This is one place, like a magnum opus of Sachidanandendra Saraswati Swamiji, who has put all the Shankara works in one place. See, that's easy for me to figure out. You figure out based on your language, wherever you can find similar, explanation of Śaṅkarācārya. Obviously, the advaitasharada.net has it in Sanskrit, so you can refer that. I'm just going to refer it here just for simplicity. Yes, if there were this is Śaṅkara Bhāṣya. Yes, if there was this universe, what do you call, it would have gone. Vidyamanas cheta nivarteta na samshaya. If it were there, it would have gone. But that is, by knowing the truth, all untruth is, see, the thing is, the idea is, does universe exist is the question Ācārya is trying to answer here, Śaṅkarācārya. He says that there is not, universe is not even there to start with. Was there a snake? There was only a rope, and the snake is imagined. So the snake, for snake to go away, it didn't even exist to start with. Bhrantya kalpitaha. Snake is just an imaginary creation of your mind. It was never there to start with. So, Māyā matramidam dvaitam advaitam paramarthataha. There is some kind of a magician who has created this magic of this universe. But really speaking, that doesn't exist. It's just an appearance. And the appearance will go away, right? When the magician will take off the magic, the appearance will go away. The reality comes to the front. Reality is what was existed, reality existed all the time. Advaitam paramarthataha. Truly, there is nothing which is imagined. Truly, what is there is real universe. Tasmat nakaschit prapañca pravrittaha nivritto va asti abhiprayaha. That means there was never the universe to start with. And that universe didn't have to go anywhere and disappear anywhere. If it existed, it would have disappeared. It's not even existing. How can it disappear? So this is the view of Śaṅkarācārya. Do you understand Śaṅkarācārya's view now? I'm going to stop share, come back to the English version. Just a second, please. Well, I somehow lost the English version somewhere in my. Well, it's okay. I'm going to come back here. I don't see the English version, but you understand. You understand that I have already explained the English version, so don't worry. Tell me if you understand Śaṅkarācārya here clearly. Because
Yes, we have
only when you understand Śaṅkarācārya, you will understand Madhvācārya here.
Krishna,
Yes.
there are two views.
We understood.
There are two views here, as I can see. One is the rope and snake analogy. The other one is the Mirage example. Now, if you take the Mirage example, even after we know that there is no water, still it continues to appear. How do we understand the non-disappearance of the world in this way?
No. See, the thing is, wait a minute. See, you have to take it in this way. You're driving on a highway, particularly, if you are familiar, there's a straight road in Arizona, which is very hot, and that leads to Las Vegas from California. Okay, the road is very hot, and you constantly see the mirage, the watery appearance. But do you suddenly think that you are driving on water? Once you know that it is not water, it doesn't matter to you whether it appears or not. See, in the case of you cannot take analogies very seriously. Okay, that analogy doesn't seem to be very well applicable here. Śaṅkarācārya gives the analogy here of only Rajju-sarpa, that is snake rope, right? Does he give the illusion of mirage here? He does not.
No, but there are many Advaitins who claim that the world still appears even after this thing realization occurs. There is still the appearance of this thing, the world, though they might not give such importance.
See, the thing is that they can explain it away, saying that is a prarabdha karma, right? Even for a jnani, there is prarabdha karma.
One point I have to tell, unless and until you verify it, even Rajju-sarpa and Mirage, they look true. But only after examining, we come to know that is not true.
See, here the question is, once you know that there is no snake, and that is just a rope, that the person who sees only the rope does not see the snake at all. Does he? No. Because suppose I say the first moment I suppose somebody is working in a shipyard, okay, and he has to tie the boat. Whenever the boat comes, he has to use the rope and tie it to the anchor on the bank. First time somebody throws the rope at him, and he suddenly looks, oh, is there a snake? In a moment, he will know that it is not a snake. Then he will never ever think that it is a snake. And every time somebody throws the rope at him, he picks it up and ties it to the anchor, and he does not have that illusion at all. So that is what Śaṅkarācārya is mentioning here. For a jnani, a true jnani, even though you may think that the jnani still has a body, he is moving around just like me, he is eating lunch and dinner every day like me. You can think. But in jnani's mind, there is only one Atma. He is experiencing one Atma. That is possible, right? There
Hello,
is no.
can you hear me, Krishna?
Yes, I can.
Oh, so last time, even if I were talking, it was not possible for you to hear. That's why I wanted to check.
No, I can hear you. I can hear you. So the issue is, what do you call, prapancho edi vidyeta nanivarteta nanivarteta nasamshayaha nivarteta nasamshayaha. That verse, according to Shankara, what he's saying is, like the snake, the universe never existed to start with. It was due to some ajnana, ignorance. It is there. All I am asking all of you is, do you understand the verse according to Advaita? That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
Yes.
I understand.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
all.
We
That's all.
understand.
Okay, what do you call, the question of Mirage as this one, if you have 47 other examples, that doesn't apply here. Śaṅkarācārya is trying to make a point. The original Mandukya Upanishad clearly, original Mandukya Upanishad doesn't even mention Rajju-sarpa here. Right? It does not mention rope snake analogy. One added thing for you. Whether it is rope snake or whether it is Shukti Rajata or shell silver analogy, it is never ever mentioned in the Pradhana Upanishads. In the 10, 12, 13 Upanishads you can look at, there is no mention of this analogy. Śaṅkarācārya keeps on using it from some, maybe he picks it up from some other work, maybe some strange Upanishad, which is true. There are some Upanishads which are outside the Pradhana Upanishads, the first 13 or whatever it is. Outside it, there are some Upanishads, and maybe that mentions the rope snake analogy. But the rope snake analogy is never mentioned, whether in the Brahma Sutras or in the Bhagavad Gītā or in the Upanishads. This is an important point to make note of. Okay, so now let us go and understand the very same verse according to Madhvācārya. Let me see. I don't know if I can share anything here. No, I don't have anything to share because I was using a particular, I do have a thing to share, but I didn't bring it up. I don't want to go search for that. Okay. So what this is Madhvācārya says, Prapañco, here, just a second. Prapañco yadi vidyeta. The way Madhvācārya understands Prapañca is, what is Prapañca after all? It is because that you have this feeling of body relationship. I own the body. I am the boss of the body. I am in this body. This is mine. This is my home. These are my relatives. And this city belongs to me. All this kind of, this is what the word Prapañca means to Madhvācārya. And he says, see, the ownership of this universe, this attachment to this universe is not really true. Okay. If it were true, it would have, what do you call it? It could be removed. It is, first of all, it is not true. So, Prapañco yadi vidyeta na nivarteta na samshayaha. That means that undoubtedly, if it were true, it would have gone. That is what were true, our relationship to this universe. So Prapañca, Madhvācārya takes it not as the physical universe outside, the attachment to the physical universe. The very fact that you're seeing a universe is because you have eyes. You are connected to your body and eyes and your indriyas and your mind. So only because of this false attachment that you own your body, this is yours and all those things, this is false. Truly that doesn't exist. The next sentence, Madhvācārya takes it as Māyā matramidam dvaitam advaitam paramarthataha. this whole Dvaita is Māyā Matra. For him, here Dvaita means independent existence. It is not about duality. Think about it in a different way. Śaṅkarācārya says Dvaita is duality. Advaita is non-duality for Śaṅkarācārya. For Madhvācārya, Dvaita is independent reality other than Hari or Lord. Other than God, Hari. The second independent reality is Dvaita. That means such a Dvaita does not exist. Then what about this universe? This universe is all dependent on Hari totally. All of you, everything, all the devatas, everything apart from Hari is dependent on Hari. So this universe, so Advaitam means this universe is not bunch of multiple realities, parallel, self-existing, autonomous entities or beings. They belong to only one Hari. Hari controls it totally according to his wishes. So that is Advaita for Madhvācārya. So is the Madhvācārya's view clear? So Madhvācārya upholds Veda, upholds duality, but he does not uphold independent duality. He says, duality is there, they're all dependent on Hari only. Is this clear?
Yes, if one question, if something is dependent on Hari, then it becomes part of Hari, is it not?
Doesn't have to be. He doesn't exist except. So, see, this is the beauty about Savishesha Advaita. Savishesha, in fact, some people even call Dvaita system as Savishesha Advaita. Some people call. But Dvaita system has the advantage that Brahman always is endowed with auspicious attributes. The moment you take the highest person as one with divine attributes, the person can create anything the person wants. He can will always separate existence and separate things in this universe. And for that, Madhvācārya even proves it with examples. Look, there is always duality in reality. You know, the stone in front of me was never me. So this universe was willed to be distinct, separate all the time by the divine will of Hari. It doesn't have to be part of him.
But if
Part means only he is always separate from Sarvada. At all times, he is separate from the universe. The universe was never a part of him, but the universe always dependent, being distinct and different from him. That's the way Madhvācārya takes it.
Okay. But if it is created,
one thing I tell you, the rules of physics, the rules of rationality, the rules of all these things don't apply here, because you have to protect your viewpoint only using the Upanishad statements or the Purana statements or even wild cards like Brahma Tarka and other references which Madhvācārya knows and other people don't know. Right? So the rules of the game is to be consistent with the words and present, the sentences of the Prasthanatraya, the three texts of Vedanta, Bhagavad Gītā, Upanishads, and Brahma Sutras. So that is the whole game of Vedanta, right?
Okay.
All right. So now Madhvācārya he clearly disposes the meaning of Advaita on the Mandukya Upanishad simply by interpreting Prapañca or universe as the attachment to the universe. So see, Sanskrit and language gives you the flexibility to interpret. When will you find the truth? When you actually experience. When you experience, suppose you are blessed with some divine knowledge, Like how Arjuna was blessed to see Vishwarupa. The truth comes to that person only. Let's come back to this Madhvācārya's view here. He further goes and says, see, look, by taking this meaning of like Advaitis, if you understand, there are some problems in this interpretation. What do you call there was the analogy of the clay and the objects made of clay. There, the word what do you call use ekapinda. Ekapinda means the original verse talks about one lump of clay. All this what do you call all the pots were not made of one lump of clay. If you take one lump of clay, all pots made from that lump of clay, that's a different issue. With one lump of clay, you cannot say all the mud anywhere in the universe or all the pots anywhere in this universe are made from the same lump of clay. That eka word will be useless. And then, in fact, the original sentence should be mrida vijñāta. If I know mud, I know everything made of mud. That would be a simpler way of saying it. The Upanishad is not saying that. So the word namadheya is used. The namadheya there, what do you call vācārambanam vikaro namadheyam mritika ityeva satyam is the original verse of the Upanishad. There, vācārambanam means it gives rise to conversations. Vikaraha, modification. Mritika ityeva satyam. Namadheyam is there. The word namadheyam is the names. Mritika ityeva satyam. It is true that it is only mud. The iti word, that iti word is there in the original. Advaita doesn't use. Advaita only says mritika is truth. The mud is the truth. Or Brahman is the truth. That's what Advaita is saying. But the word iti or so is deleted in the Advaita meaning. And he said, Advaita is not sincere to the text here. And as I earlier told, the person who sees only the rope never mistakes it for a snake again. He only sees the rope. So, eka vijñānena sarva vijñānam is very impossible in Advaita. That means knowing one, knowing the mud, you know all the things made out of mud. That knowing one thing, you will know everything else. This concept doesn't suit the Advaita meaning. Madhvācārya says, why? By knowing Brahman, how would you know the universe? The reason is, the moment you know Brahman, the universe is only superimposed, the universe will disappear away from your sight, like how the snake disappears from your sight. And there's only rope there, or the adhisthana, or the substratum, which is Brahman. So if you know Brahman, you will not know other things. So the very concept of the Upanishad, which says eka vijñānena sarva vijñānam, knowing one, you will know everything else. That very principle which was brought by Father Uddhalaka to Shvetaketu, that doesn't work for Advaita. That is Madhvācārya's view here. There may be a lot of arguments from the Advaita view. That's a different question. I'm not considering them right now. Okay, I'm only explaining the Madhva view, Madhvācārya view. Please, you need to understand that. Navakritva pibede eva drishtantokteścha. In the 9 analogies given in the Chandogya Upanishad, it all indicated Veda or differences. But so the thing is, I just don't see any Advaita here, is the point Madhvācārya is making. Tasmat, Tattvamasi should be understood as Tattvamasi should be understood as Atattvamasi. You are not that. You are not Brahman. It should be understood only in this way, because differences were always highlighted in the examples. And and the example of knowing one thing, you will know all the effects of that thing. It doesn't even work out in Advaita. So you need to delete the Advaita meaning here. That is the strong contention of Madhvācārya. Now
I have one thing to say, Krishna. Excuse me.
Okay.
Can I say?
Yes, sure, go ahead.
Tattvamasi is the Vakya. But here, how can you make Atattvamasi? It is not at all possible.
No. Sa Atma Tattvamasi Shveta Keto is the original sentence. Sa Atma, look at everywhere. Look at even the next verse. All the original everywhere, Sa Atma Tattvamasi Shveta Keto, always that is what is said here. See the original Upanishad.
Okay.
All 9 times the Upanishad sentence comes. Sa Atma Tattvamasi Shveta Keto. That is what is said. There, Sa Atma Tattvamasi. Madhvācārya takes an A there. Because the Savarna Dirgha Sandhi, if you combine and break it, you get an extra A there. Atattvamasi.
One point. If there is yes mark, then only you can make Atattvamasi. If it is Atma Tattvamasi, you cannot split like Atma Atattvamasi. It is never possible in Sanskrit.
See, that S mark is only in writing, right?
No, you cannot say like that. It cannot be hiding. It should be written in the text. Because we only refer to the written context, written thing. We have not heard any teacher talking like that. Madhvācārya or Śaṅkarācārya or even Ramanuja.org telling Atattvamasi. We have not heard them saying. Only in the text we say Atma Tattvamasi. If there is an avagraha chanya in the text, then only you can make Atattvamasi, because otherwise you cannot make Atma Atattvamasi.
I understand.
You cannot make it.
Okay, I understand. You are talking from text. The original Upanishads, before the Upanishads were written, somewhere in some, just before Buddhism or something like that, Buddha's times, before 500 BCE. How was Upanishads transmitted from generation to generation? The Upanishads were transmitted. Upanishads were transmitted through Guru Shishya Santati, through oral only. There avagraha chinna, yes mark, this mark and all doesn't come. So
that is true.
So at that time, whatever was the way it was transmitted, there are shakhas, right? Shakhas means that the people who even now repeat Vedadhyena, they do Vedadhyena, they repeat, they understand, they do Krama, Japa, Ghana, Patas. They constantly remember through oral tradition. Even today, that oral tradition is happening, and unfortunately, many of us are absent in those classes, right? So the thing is,
supposition because we don't have any evidence for it.
See, the question is, there is a strong argument supporting Madhvācārya, and he will say Madhvācārya being an expert on the Vedas, and we cannot question him at this point at all. And then they will question any Ācārya. What have you studied? Have you studied Rigveda like Madhvācārya? Have you studied Upanishads? Have you how many times? So the thing is, see, we are in a very disadvantageous position to question any of this.
That is true.
That's all. That's all matters. Okay. Next. Now let us take further this. Let's go further. Madhvācārya says, look, even the next a portion of the Upanishad seems to be not aligned well for Advaita. Aitadatmamidam sarvam sat satyam sa atma tattvamasi shvetaketo. Wherever it is said, aitadatmamidam sarvam tat satyam sa atma tattvamasi shvetaketo is there. Aitadatmamidam means this, you whole thing what you see here is controlled by the Atman. So that one Atman is the controller, the inner soul, the inner supporter. of the universe. So all this is controlled, ensouled by that one Atman. That is what is. When you say all this, if you say all this is just an appearance, it doesn't even exist to start with. So what is the Atman? Atma, who is controlling who? In the Antaryāmī Brahmana, yah prativyam tishtan prathvi mantaroyamayati yam prithvi naveda yasya prithvi shariram. He says that, right? That is the Antaryāmī Brahmana of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Yah prativyam tishtan. He resides inside Prithvi, the earth. Prativyam antaro yamayati. From within he controls the earth. Yam Prithvi naveda. The Prithvi doesn't know him. The earth does not know that it is being controlled by within from this Atman. Yasya Prithvi shariram. The Prithvi, the earth is the body of that person. So similarly, there are several examples given there. Atmani tishtanne, Atmanam antaro yamayati, Atmanam antaro yamayati, Yamatmana veda, Yasya Atma shariram. This is also there. There the Atma is mentioned as Jiva there, because that is the original person. That person is ensouling an individual Jiva. The individual Jiva does not know the ensouling inner entity. And this Jiva is the Sharira or like the body of that Paramatma. This kind of Antaryāmī Brahmana is there. If two things don't exist in the same level of truth, how can one ensoul one thing? How can one control the other? The other thing doesn't even exist. From the Brahman's perspective in Advaita, the universe does not even exist. Brahman doesn't see the universe. Brahman is nirguna, nirvikalpa, nirakara, shuddha, formless, attributeless, pure, consciousness. Brahman doesn't see universe at all. The universe is seen by you and I and all those people. So, avidyamanameva ishvaram srishtadikam cha apraptameva atmanah bhinnattvena prapayitva tannishedhe katam shrutehe unmata vakyatvam nasyate. So the thing is, there is this known as there is a great what you call apacheda nyaya. No, there is some nyaya Advaita use. All this the Upanishads and everything, the Vedas are talking about this multiplicity. They are bringing in this multiplicity only to deny it later. So this universe of multiplicity is dealt with in the Upanishads and the Vedas, and even the Ishvara or the Creator is brought in by the Upanishads only to deny the Creator later, because Ishvara doesn't exist in Advaita either. Ishvara exists only when there is universe, and the universe is illusory. Ishvara is also illusory. Finally, it is only Nirguna Brahman, only, right? Madhvācārya says, what is this? You are bringing imaginary things and denying it. And that becomes, Vedas are like unmatta vakyas. Unmatta vakya means the words of a madman. He imagines things and denies it. What is this? So Madhvācārya is very critical and he attacks. Anuvadopi yadidam vadanti tannayujyate ityadi vakyam parihare vishesha yuktim cha vina na drashtaha atiprasangascha anyata abhedanuvadena bhedopadesha kimiti syate. 1 second. See, Upanishad, in creation, wherever it talks about creation, it talks about, Chaturmukha Brahma came out of this, even Maha-Upanishad, take Eko Havai Narayana Asit, only Narayana existed, na Brahmana Ishanaha, not the four-faced, not the Shiva. Then from there, from his forehead came Lalata Strakshaha, the three-eyed Rudra came from his forehead. Then the Brahma was created some way, and then the stars, the oceans, this one, the Lokas, the Indras and Devatas, and everybody was created. These kind of creations, descriptions exist. What do you want to make up so much to deny everything? Is Madhvācārya's question.
Excuse me, Krishna. If you don't think I'm interrupting the class, can I tell what I feel here?
Make it small, make it short.
Short only. See, when the teacher, if you take teacher and student, teacher knows very well what he is teaching. So Sanskrit, when he says Atma, and he cannot, teacher cannot say Atma Tattvamasi in one word. He should break and say Atma Tattvamasi. At the sentence, Atma Tattvamasi, it should be separate only. And when you tell also, because teacher clearly he wants to make the student very clear about what he wants to tell. And then he cannot mingle up telling Atma Tattvamasi. Atma, sandra vere iடம் அப்புறம் தத்துவமசி வேறுதான் இருக்கணும். அது ரெண்டையும் சேர்த்து மேல கெடை போட்டு ஆத்மா தத்துவமசி எதுவும் முடியாது, சொல்லவும் முடியாது.
Mommy, we have already answered this question. You cannot question what was a...
That point I know, but...
Then you don't know, the words, how it was there. You don't know even the intonation, the swaras of the original Upanishad. They come with the swara, and every swara has a different meaning. At this point, you and I or anybody in this conversation do not have the knowledge to attack Madhvācārya based on Sanskrit knowledge or Vedas knowledge. We don't have the knowledge at this point.
No, I'm not attacking him.
No.
I'm only expressing.
Please let us stop this conversation. Waste of time for others.
Okay.
Personally, if I have time, I'll talk to you. This is not good for the class. Let's leave it out. We can spend another 45 minutes arguing about it. You will not agree, I will not agree. What will happen to the class?
Sorry. That's why I asked. Can I
No, you're doing the same thing again. This conversation is over, please. Let's go further. I have less time now. I need to rush. Please.
Before talking only, I asked you permission. That's all.
Okay, the permission. I wrongly gave the permission. Mistake is mine. Okay, the question here is, hold on a second. So Sarvashak, in all the Upanishads, even at the end, Bheda is indicated. Namo Vishnave Brahate Karomi. It ends with a prayer. Oh Vishnu, I am prostrating to you. So the thing is, even in the Upanishads, iti brahmavido viduhu, pashyanti atmani avasthitam, pashyanti atmani avasthitam. They see that Brahman ensouling themselves. So all these things indicate Bheda. Doesn't seem to agree with Abheda. This is Madhvācārya's view. See, one thing I tell you, all this Advaita, Dvaita, Vishishta Dvaita, dialogues and interactions and oppositions and things like that will not end in one class. It's just like 1 hour here, right? You have to go think about it 1,000 times, and I'm sure even after you think 1,000 times, some of you will 100% believe in Advaita, some of you will 100% believe in Dvaita, some of you 100% will believe in Vishishta Dvaita or some other theory. So this is not something which is going to end here. The next sentence, I'm going to take up a little bit. The last, that is just a final sentence made by Madhvācārya, the Upadhikrita Veda. That one is a little long. I will finish that next time. I'll finish that next time. So now, if there are any other questions other than the Atattvamasi Tattvamasi issue, please let me know, because Atattvamasi Tattvamasi is not solvable here. Any other question?
One thing I have actually, I mean, apart from all this Sanskrit juggleries, I mean, the grammatical things, but there is one logical thing which is pointed out by the father in the Upanishad, that the same substance continues even in the effect. Now, how does Madhvācārya interpret this thing in the Dvaitic point of view?
See, same. Tell me clearly, what are you referring to? Same substance continues in the effect means in what way?
The clay in the different effects like pot, vase, everything, and the gold in different kinds of jewelry, and iron in different kinds of its form. So the same substance continues in the effect. So there is oneness of substance in all these things.
The thing is, for him, what do you call the oneness of substance is the Prakriti aspect of the Prakriti itself. For him, Upadana Karanatva is not even an issue here. He says this whole Upanishad does not talk about Upadana Karanatva or the material causality. In fact, he goes and there are three analogies on the material causality. Nakhakrantana, that is the nail cutter. The nail cutter analogy, and the analogy of the gold, and the analogy of what do you call clay and its effects, right? In the Nakhakrantana, there was no causality there. Nakhakrantana is just an example of the product. So he says that this whole idea of take it away from your mind, this is about causality and effects. It is not. For Vishishta Dvaita and for Advaita, this is about causality and effects. So what do you see, he says the causality and effects can be explained in a different way, different place. Different place is what? Like what do you call the Antaryāmī Brahmana? There is this, what do you call, he tat srishtva tadeva anupravishat. Here Madhvācārya agrees exactly with the Ramanuja.org view that he created and then he ensouled it. The creation is actually only srija visarjane. Srishti means what? Visarjane, throw. Srishti means creation, that is throw something which is inside you outside. So that which was unmanifested inside, you throw outside. That is creation according to Madhvācārya. It is only not the material causality. So it just depends on the interpretation again. Understood? Hello?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Yeah. Any other question? Was this class useful?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes,
Yeah, good. So,
definitely.
because Prapañca Yadividyeta is a very important verse, and knowing it from the Advaita viewpoint and Dvaita point of view is very important. And then here, what do you call it? It's just a clear understanding how the theistic religions, theistic views like the Dvaitins and Dvaitins and Vishishta-Dvaitins view it, and the absolute idealistic views from Śaṅkarācārya, how they view it. It's very clear. one thing we need to understand, these are all interpretational differences and language differences. The more and more I study about the Upanishads, it is about language. And the only difference I can say is people who are very, very, very well educated, they can connect and get a higher level of understanding of the Upanishads itself. If they go and if they look at the context, they may get a partiality in their minds towards Advaita or towards Dvaita or Vishtadvaita. They may, so you may have a personal opinion which differs from these authors. We are only learning the author's views now, not about personal views. And in fact, it would be too, I would be talking out of my hat somewhere that if I know all these three views and I can take a personal view, which can consider every point and every aspect of these Ācāryas' understandings of the entire Vedas and Upanishads, that's just I cannot do that. So in this class, we are only going to, we are not here to justify a particular statement, a particular view 100%, and try to impose upon to you that this is exactly what is right. It cannot be done in this way. This is not a
Agreed. Accepted.
This is not
Agreed.
a. There's not even a. What do you call that?
Judgment.
Missionary exercise. Missionary means that I'm trying to convert everybody to my point of view. I don't have that agenda or goal.
I understood very clearly, but what I thought during the course of talk, just wanted to share it, that not to prove it, what I am telling is 100% true.
Yeah. See, the thing is, what happens, Śaṅkarācārya, what happens is, Atattvamasi or Tattvamasi, these Ācāryas have been fighting since the day Madhvācārya wrote his Bhāṣyas. What his argument is, it goes even before this Uddhalaka is the teacher. Knowledgeable person is the father there. The student he just goes to a degree, a 12-year degree, to get a Veda knowledge somewhere from a teacher, and he doesn't even understand. And he thinks that, oh, my teacher didn't know what to say, that is why I did not understand. All kinds of weird things he comes and tells in front of his father. And father starts teaching him. In that sense, why would the father, knowing well his son is proud and not so knowledgeable, not so intelligent, for that such a person he would call, oh, you are God, you are Brahman. Why would he say? Even contextually, that doesn't make sense according to Madhvācārya. So this is Madhvācārya's words I'm telling you. So in fact, there is more reason to believe it is Atattvamasi rather than Tattvamasi according to Madhvācārya. I'm only taking the case. I'm arguing like a lawyer or a attorney supporting Madhvācārya here. I cannot withdraw his views or attack his views too. He is quite confident when he makes these statements. And Aitadatmavidam sarvam. Oh, I am ensouling this. What am I ensouling? That which never existed. The world never existed to ensoul. And the world doesn't even appear to this Brahman. And he is ensouling it. Aitadatmavidam doesn't work. And sa aikshata, tad aikshata comes, right? Oh, he willed to be many. What willing is not there possible for a nirguna vastu. Where is the saguna coming from? Where is the Ishvara coming from? The all Sarvajna Ishvara. Some questions here are not easy to answer. Again, I want to remind all of you, you and I or 1,000 other students and teachers and peers can be discussing for the next 1,000 years. Speech, conversations will not end the topic. You will never realize the truth by just talking about it.
Agreed, totally agree.
So it is a next stage of nididhyasana, dhyana, direct realization which will make. These are only mental contemplations, counter arguments, to get some things very clear in our mind. If you go back to Kena Upanishad, this is beyond words. Okay, that's it. We'll stop here. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Parama Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane Namaha, Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.
Very sorry, Krishna.
Namaskaras.
Namaskar.